Okay, let's try this again. We'll see if this works. Hey guys, see if you pop back in. Sorry. It's been a long time since I've done this, and I got this new microphone set up. I got these cool headphones. Like, I'm hoping that this way I'll be able to do this. So, Janelle and Redneck and all you guys that were just in here, pop back in for a minute. You can hear me now. Woohoo! Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, really. So yeah, this is a brand new microphone that I just got. It's a new deity. It's one that people use for podcasting. So I am really trying to amp up my channel. I've been taking the time to learn a bunch of really cool editing techniques. I bought some better equipment. I was having problems with my laptop before, trying to get all the sound to work. And even just now with this like professional equipment, it was just a pain in the neck. Redneck said that you knew Elite would come through. Well, no, Elite's home and not paying any attention to me right now. Hey, Mrs. Red Monkey, how are you? If you guys don't know Red Monkey, go check them out. What's up with you guys? Like, is he making music on TikTok or something now? Because I miss you guys. Like, now that I'm trying to get, you know, this channel and get the lives going again, I'm going to do the StreamYards. I want to get people in here. I want to interview. I want to interview people from different trucking companies. I want to interview people about different topics. I just want to get a real wide variety of people, and I want legit people who are going to give serious information, because we all know that there's a bunch of crap out there that people really don't really give you the info, you know. They are MIA like the rest of us. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's summertime, right? And my birthday was a couple weeks ago, so I'm feeling old. And, you know, I figure, well, it's time to get serious. Like, I'm actually making enough off of YouTube through referrals, honestly, that it's almost like a part-time job now. And so I was like, crap, I got to up my game. If this is going to bring in some serious money for me, then guess what? I want to take it seriously, right? And luckily, all you guys like have really always supported me and everything. If you've been around on my channel for a while, and Glenn, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you can hear me now. Johnny, good to see you. If you've been around for my channel for a while, you know that I make it a point to donate money throughout the year, or especially around the holidays. I try to take that money and from the YouTube and from the referrals and stuff. So I started in 2020 doing that when I first got monetized, and was able to donate $4,200 that I did to Meals on Wheels. And that was because the old people, they didn't want to go shopping. They were afraid to leave their homes. And some of you know my mother died. She passed away. And even though she didn't have COVID, I really blame COVID in part for her dying. The doctors stopped seeing her, but they were still giving her her heart prescriptions and blood pressure meds and stuff. So I don't really think that's cool. Redneck Trucker says, I'll let you all know how to shower at a rest area. Just keep a water hose on your truck. What's my Cash App? My Cash App is Trucker Kiersey. So, $ Trucker Kiersey. I appreciate anything you're willing to give. And so, anyway, back to the charity thing. This year, I was setting a goal for $10,000 to raise for charity this year. And, you know, I have a good amount of that. I have like 4,000 or so of that. And I'm like, you know what? I am trying to, like I said, up my game. So if you are willing to fork over a little bit cash, then that would be awesome. If you're just willing to watch my videos or share out, that's awesome. I appreciate that. If you do know anybody that's looking for a company to start at and, get trained, if they put me down as a referral, I can train them for the CDL portion. And, I know there are a lot of people out here that just say, oh, you do it for the referrals, you won't do it for the money, but I really don't. I help people constantly. So, hey, Mrs. Nevada, how you guys doing today? Have you been hunting lately? Over on Ike's channel, Ike was trying to get me and Mrs. Nevada to go hunting together. And I kind of think that getting Laura over from Red Monkey Trucking, God, the three of us women together, geez, the rest of you truckers wouldn't know what to do. Laura, she gives it, well, Patty actually gives a mean right hook, man. I've seen that a few times. One of their best videos, it still makes me laugh, I go back and watch it, is she's laying in bed with the little stuffed animal, and her husband Tater goes off and starts like beating the hell out of this little stuffed monkey. It's freaking hysterical. I'm mostly only hearing you out of the left ear on my headset, so change the mic audio setting to mono from stereo. I have no idea how to do that, but thank you, and I will find out. That might, I haven't used this live stream in so long that it took me a couple tries to figure it out, and I wound up having to go through OBS because for some reason on my side, StreamYard was working just fine, but on your side, you guys couldn't hear me, so where is everybody, and what kind of things do you guys have planned for the rest of the summer? Because after being cooped up for a couple summers where you really couldn't enjoy anything, and now it's like, wow, okay, I get freedom. This is cool. We can go in swimming pools again and stuff like that. So I'm like, really excited. This might sound weird, but I am so thankful. I have such a great freaking life. And every day I come home from Prime and I'm sitting here thinking, first off, I'm thinking, thank God I'm not brand new and I don't have to try to learn how to back up the damn truck again, because that was one of the most frustrating parts of my entire life. Like, I've done so much in my life, and I look back and I'm like, that's the hardest thing I ever had to do. And now I'm like, wow, Barry says, oh, hell no, 3 women hunting. He's gonna hide. Yeah. Picking up Incubus on Monday for a 2-month tour. And Johnny says, I'm in Albany, New York, but going back home to Cali? Ew. Sorry, Johnny. My condolences on living there. Are you planning on staying there, or are you going to get the hell out? Because honestly, I had to get the hell out of Jersey. I just can't stand that anymore. In Phoenix, going to be house hunting for the next few days. Well, congratulations. Good luck for you. Really, good luck to you, and I hope you find everything you're looking for. Phoenix, one thing that I think is hysterical about Phoenix, you're driving on I-40, and then there's this big sign with AC/DC that says Highway to Hell, and you really don't understand what that means in the wintertime. But come July, when it's 126 degrees outside, you really do understand, and your sneakers are sticking to the sidewalk, and you can tell who the company drivers are and who the lease and owner ops are, because guess what? The company drivers are all in their trucks with it idling because we don't give a damn about the fuel prices, and all the owner ops and lease ops are inside, shoved into Denny's, and because they don't want to waste the fuel, especially in this economy, man. Hey, Isaac, thanks for coming in. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Does this mic sound pretty good? I mean, I paid some decent money for it. It's a newer mic called Deity, and a bunch of the podcasters are using this. So I was like, what the heck? You guys are awesome, and you're totally worth it. So, but I am a little bit technically challenged. I'm like one step above elite when it comes to technical stuff. And it's like, he'll call me up and he'll say, well, can't you do blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah, I probably can, but we'll just have to figure it out. Redneck says, I sound great. Well, I feel great too, if you felt me. But Barry's excellent audio. That's cool. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. You have no idea. I'm going to try to get on a schedule because I've been working on the pad with the students and I really have not set up a schedule. A lot of the trainers out here seem to take the weekends off, or they'll take like Sunday, Monday. And I've really been working my students around the weather. Like, I try to do the pad at night, and people think I'm being mean about it. And, oh, you're keeping your students out all night. Well, no, it's 110 degrees during the freaking day. So at least at night, it's in the 90s and might have a nice breeze, So, hey, Andrew, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm really doing pretty good. And Janelle, I am so glad that you're back around. You were sorely missed last year. You really did give us all a big scare. And you know what, Redneck? I just realized you don't have a wrench in here. What the heck? I think I just gave you one. Yeah, I did. So I try to give all the channels wrenches. So if you're a channel and you don't have a wrench in here, then pop up and let me know. Yeah, exactly, Redneck. You're going to be in backing situations at night. But I seem to do it. I don't think people learn. People don't really learn when they're really, really uncomfortable. But one thing about it, though, too, is that, like, at night, if they can do it at night, then they can definitely do it during the day, right? I mean, if they can do it at night where you can barely see, when it comes time for the test, they can definitely do it. Isaac says, I'm from the desert Southwest, and we prefer to do things at night. Yep. Start just before sundown and roll into the evening. Exactly. And I've always been a night person anyway. I have 2 students testing in the morning. And, I wanted to play around with this. And it's been one thing that's really hard, and maybe you guys can help me with this. How do you get people to calm down when it comes to test anxiety? Because I always really thought that if the person knew and they felt comfortable and they knew what they were doing, then they'd have that confidence. And I've sat there and I've timed them with stopwatches to show them, hey, it takes 15 minutes for this test to complete. You got 15-minute time limit. And I could show them, look, you're doing that maneuver in less than 5 or 6 minutes. You can do all 3 maneuvers in the 15-minute time limit. And that seemed to work for some people, but it doesn't seem to work for others. And the people that I've seen that really get nervous, they do stupid mistakes. Like one student, she was doing the alley dock and she was so excited and she was jumping up and down. She got out to look. She ran around the back of the trailer and the side of the trailer, but she didn't look on the other side. And so her tire was on the line. So she actually failed for that. And, she really didn't have any other points on other things. She had a couple extra pull-ups. So with that pull-up combination and staying on the line, she wound up feed them and give them a 10-hour break. It's funny you say that because I was feeding them. I was taking them out and telling them I'd take them to dinner any place in Springfield. And, I've taken people to Outback and all kinds of places and Cheddar's and all, but I had 2 students that wanted to spend a slumber party here in my apartment and have an ice cream sundae buffet. I'm like, wow, the women come up with these really crazy requests. I'm telling you. Versatility is better anyway. If they come back at night, they come back better in the daytime. Exactly. Barry says, I've been doing a great job training your students to be extremely happy when they pass the exam. Patience is golden, yes, but sometimes that does fizzle out. And it's you know, I really want to help everybody, and I especially hate that victim mentality of I'm a woman, so it's harder for me, or I'm a woman, so, don't expect as much from a man as from me as you do a man. But I don't believe that crap. I'm sorry. I've been in male-dominated industries my whole life. And the truth of the matter is the only people that are telling women they can't do this shit is the women. So sometimes I think more women do more harm than good when it comes to that. Like, I mean, look at Mrs. Red Monkey up there. She's been teaming with her husband, and she did a hysterical video one time too, where she was talking about what it's like being married on the truck. And if I remember correctly, she was like on the truck with him for 7 or 8 months before she start driving. And, she was talking about how when you get into an argument, the only thing you can do when you're teaming is close the curtain behind you. You can't slam a door. You can't get away from the person. So I really love seeing different people and how they run the trucks, and their stories behind how they came into trucking. And I really like seeing all that. Andrew says, when I was on the road, I preferred nights. It was easier to find truck stop parking during the day. Yep, this is true. Hey, Andrew, how you doing anyway? Physically, how you doing? Barry says there's always a certain amount of anxiety when being tested. It's human nature. This is true, and I tried to explain to them it's not so much of a test or an exam, but think of it as a way to demonstrate what they've learned. When you're with me for 2 or 3 weeks, you're really working hard to learn something. You're at a completely foreign place. The way Prime does it, they send you to the terminal, so you're away from home, and you're really supposed to concentrate completely on your learning and get rid of all the family and home distractions. So if you immerse yourself into that learning system, and then you've put all this effort in, you should be proud and excited to say, hey. But it's funny because the students will be like, well, yeah, I have no problem doing it in front of you. And I'm like, yeah, but you just met me. You just met me a couple weeks ago. So who the hell am I? I'm nobody special. Actually, I am somebody special, but if I say that, it sounds arrogant. Yeah, some redneck trucker says some people just don't test well. Oh, you're one of them? Okay. I can back in the tightest spots, but testing, I'm horrible. Really? So how'd you do on your original exam? Because that's something else that I think that it's the unknown. People fear the unknown, and it's just like, okay, well, what happens if you fail? Nothing. You just do it over again. You just start over again. So reward them with the local buffet after passing the test, and if they fail PB&J, that's fine. And a bus ticket home. Damn, you are cold. You just sent them home for failing? Come on, man. Not even going to retest them? What the heck? My one student, she's dying for me to make her some grilled cheese in the air fryer. I was really tempted to show up tomorrow morning making it, but it's crazy because I've been spending so many hours at the pad that I haven't even gone to Walmart in a week to go make sure. Okay, Andrew says I'm okay. The shoulder's still not best. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but it's been about 2 years, I want to say. 1.5 years, Andrew? Andrew rolled his truck. I mean, it got blown over in some really bad, nasty weather. If I remember correctly. Or was it just wind, Andrew? JF Trucker, hello. How are you tonight? Now you got listening material. No, you don't. Drama alert, JF's in the house. No, JF will behave. Won't you, JF? You'll behave. Because if you guys listened to the Elite podcast the other night, like he and I, like we were discussing serial killers and like if you could kill somebody, how would you do it and that kind of thing. And of course, this is all made up and this isn't real. I would never kill anybody. But Lord knows I wrote enough books about killing. So, you know. Barry says beat them with the tire club if they don't pass. That's terrible. Oh, okay. Andrew says it was a year in January since he blew over wind. Okay. Was trying to make it to a place to park and it had 70-mile-per-hour wind hit him and sent him down the side of the hill. I remember I saw the picture. I just can't remember if it was icy or snow or anything. Yeah, I don't have Facebook anymore. Somebody just texted me saying, what's your Facebook page? I don't have Facebook anymore. They suck. They hate me. And I basically told them to go screw themselves. One of the reasons is because originally we all had accounts in our real name, right? Well, about 8 years ago, something like that, I start writing the books before I came into trucking. And so I published the books in a fictitious name. And so I changed my name on the Facebook and start promoting the books. Well, later when I wanted to change my name back and I thought, well, I'll turn it back to, Trucking with Kiersey or whatever. And now they want me to give them my driver's license and birth certificate. And I'm like, hell no. You ain't getting that. Hell no. So, it is what it is. Does anybody actually go on YouTube, Facebook anymore? I mean, I don't think. Who's on Instagram? I had an Instagram account and I think I lost the app somewhere. I have to go back and I have this horrible, horrible tendency to, I'm very klutzy and I damage things all the time. So like if you see this microphone that I have, it's very sturdy. I got these really cool Rode headset. So this is very sturdy. My brother knows that I'm a klutz and I break stuff. So he bought me this wireless speaker set that is so strong and powerful that he had a YouTube video where somebody dropped it off of a 3rd-story building and then ran it over with a pickup truck and the damn thing still played. So that was my birthday gift from my brother a few years ago. And, so that's basically explains to you how bad I am with equipment. And in the past 2 years, I've already run over or dropped a couple phones and replaced them and everything. I just never know when the hell I'm getting a bill from my insurance company on the phones to say, oh no, this wasn't covered. Andrew got 2 tears in his rotator cuff. Oh man, that stuff's hurt. A detached bicep. They had to reattach it to a different spot. Oh, damn. Redneck Trucker doesn't have YouTube, Facebook either. Yeah, TikTok. You know what? I talk too damn much for TikTok. Like, I kept trying to make videos. I'm like the female sober James Best. Like, I could just sit here and talk forever. And, go ahead, post your, what's the title of the book? Oh, Hans, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Hans. I love you too. The title, yes, it's not Diary of a Disgruntled Postal Worker. It was actually Going Postal, True Stories of a U.S. Postal Worker. That's the truth. It's on Amazon. I do have links in my descriptions on the videos. I don't think there's one right now, but, you know, we're also coming up on a year of my mom's death. And so, and my, you know, I just turned 48. So I'm sitting here looking at my life and I'm like, every day I just sit here and I'm thinking, there are so many times that I should have been dead. I mean, that might sound morbid to people, but from the background that I had and the childhood I had and, you know, even a lot of the daredevil things that I did in my life, you know, bungee jumping and parasailing and, you know, all kinds of scuba diving and all kinds of things that I put adventurous stuff that I put myself in these positions where something really bad could have happened. Oh, thank you, Redneck. I don't have my phone. It's in the other room charging, but I really appreciate whatever you send. 50 cents or $5 or whatever it is. I really appreciate it, honest to God. And like I said, I am making it a point. My goal this year would be $10,000 to donate to charity. And, you know, I still got a good 6 months to be able to try to put that together. Actually, you know, Barry, I have a few books written. One of them is called Zodiac Lives, and the trailer, it was like, you know, no one is safe because Zodiac lives. It's actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the real Zodiac killer, the serial killer from the 70s. And, but I set the book in the year 2000 so that the time frame would work. And this little girl is only 3 years old and she has nightmares about somebody trying to kill her. And her nightmares lead the police to evidence from the 70s. And the real life Zodiac killer was never found. So in my book, now the serial killer is terrified that somebody knows where he is or knows his name. So because of that, he goes on a killing spree and goes hunting people. So JF, what are you up to tonight? I mean, you're just like making all kinds of crazy videos with all kinds of apps and stuff, and you know, and he's just laughing. So, but anyway, so getting back to, it's been a year, almost. Next month will be a year since my mom died, and you know, I think a lot of us glorify the dead, and I don't. I can look at my mom for who she was, but there were so many funny things about her. Like, this is a true story and it's funny, so don't tune out yet. Okay. Back in the 70s, when Atari and the video games first came out, it was common practice for the parents just to drop their kids off in the toy department. The kids would go play video games and the parents would go shopping. So my mother, when I came into trucking, my mother asked me how it was I could possibly, you know, figure out where the hell I was going, because you need geographical sense. And my mother had no navigation skills whatsoever. She is so lucky that she was a surgical nurse in the Air Force, because we would have bombed the wrong country if she was in charge of the navigation. I swear to God, it's true. So when I was like 5 years old, she left me and my little brother in the toy department playing on the Atari. So she told us to go meet her at the front of the store at such and such time. Well, we go to the front of the store to the customer service desk and my mother's not there. So the woman says to us, "Oh, are you lost?" And I said, "No, ma'am. I know where I am. It's my mother that's lost." And the lady was like, "No, you mean you're lost." And I was like, "No, being serious. I know where I'm at. My mother's lost." So they paged my mother in Kmart. They paged her across the intercom. Would the lost mother of Kirsten and Alan please show up to the customer service department? And I told the lady, I said, she's not going to be able to find her way here. You're going to have to send an employee. And I told the lady, make another page and tell my mother to find an employee to find the front of the building. And that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it's the truth. So she had no conception of how I could be a truck driver. And it was funny. She would like say to me, hey, there's a hurricane in Georgia. I know you're in Wyoming, but I don't know how close it is to Georgia. Like, yeah, okay, Mom, I feel the wind here, Mom. I feel that rain from 2,000 miles away. But man, you guys are up late. I'm shocked I got anybody in here, especially that this, I really haven't been on and alive in a long time. So, but what, might as well, for the guys that are in here, what time do you really like people to go live? That's probably another really good question to ask people. Like, what time do you want somebody to go live? Because, like TubeBuddy and YouTube and everything, they'll sit there and they'll say, hey, Ann, how you doing? For those of you who don't know Ann, she's like my biggest cheerleader. I swear. She's over on truckingtruth.com and she'll go on, post my links everywhere. So thank you so much, Ann. I appreciate that. Do I know Northwoods Ferry on YouTube? I don't think so. Is that Ferry Wire, Redneck? Because Ferry Wire used to be, Ferry Wire, drives for No Hippie Trucking. She's a prime driver. She was a company, she's still a company driver, but she drives for him. And I think originally she used her real name. Then she went to Ferry Wire. So is that who you mean? Did she change her name or something? Woke up to your voice, just put my driver to bed. Yeah, guys, Ann's husband is a driver. She takes really good care of him. Barry says go live on my schedule and he'll join in if he can. I appreciate that, Barry. I do. Yeah, I want to really start talking about different topics. I was even thinking about going to get on a real schedule at work. I don't have a schedule. I can make up my own schedule, like I said, on the testing pad. So I can kind of make up my schedule. And I think I'm just going to go to truck stops and interview drivers and interview people from different companies and stuff. All right. Northwoods Ferry was a trucker going through some things. She wants to get back in the industry. Get a hold of me. I think Elite has my number. All right. Well, you could always hit me up at truckingalongfun@gmail.com. That's truckingalongfun@gmail.com. But yeah, I'll ask Elite. He's one of those emotional. He's all up in his feelings. So every once in a while, he just goes and deletes everybody that's in his phone. And then people will call him up or text him. He'll call me up and say, I don't know who the hell this is. And I'm like, well, if you stop taking everybody out of your damn phone, you'll know. Yeah, Redneck, I appreciate that. Yeah, give me an email. Give me an email. Thanks, Ann. I really appreciate that. Ann says, I'm afraid of heights, blood, and roller coasters. My God, I haven't been on a roller coaster in so long. You know, all those ones that twist and go upside down. I used to love all those suckers. And I just saw one on YouTube that was stuck upside down for 3 hours. And these people were just hanging in the air, and the kids were screaming about the blood rushing to their heads and stuff. Hey, Wolfman, how you doing tonight? Hugs to you too. Have a good night and be safe, and gives hugs to your hubby for me. Don't send Elite any more dresses. Why? That was one of the funniest videos I ever saw. I am so mad because he doesn't still have that video. Like, that was amazing. I love him. He comes up with some stuff, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. You'll be back? Okay, JF. Make sure that you're nice to those people you're delivering to. Yeah. Oh, you know, I guess I'm kind of boring because I'm not, like, taking my shirt off and shaking my boobies around like some of the guys on here. You're not going to see my hairy butt. And, you know, if I had a hairy butt, I would definitely go get it waxed before I showed it online. That's the truth. It's like everybody's talking about this AB5 and, you know, fuel surcharges and all that. And they're all having these debates. And it's like, you can debate anything you want, but it's going to come down to it's either going to be or it isn't going to be. So, you know, I kind of am shocked at people having this response because, like, I was looking over on Red Hawk. Red Hawk was, you know, discussing all the protests in LA at the ports. The truckers are protesting. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because what California did first was they had all these restrictions on the trucks. So you have to have a truck that's newer than 2014. It has to have DEF. You have to have this kind of thing on the trailers and blah, 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 blah. And yes, I went from talking from hairy butts to AB5. That's right. You know why? Because I'm going to be like somebody else that has a live feed he does all the time. This is my channel, damn it, and I can say and do whatever I want. Even if I want to have AB5 kiss my hairy butt. But, yeah, so, you know, how fair is that these guys all went out and bought brand new trucks, and now they got these truck payments, and now AB5 is throwing a curveball at them, and, you know, they're saving money on fuel discounts and on insurance by being leased onto a company. And now it's kind of like, no, you can't be leased onto the company. You have to go for your own authority. So they're going to pay a whole bunch more in insurance. And, you know, I hope those guys, you know, stick to it. I really do. Oh, okay. Redneck says that he left LA on Thursday and he saw some protesting, but not much. Well, you know, that's one thing about the trucking community. We can't agree on anything. In order to be a great truck driver, you have to be an alpha. And it's funny because, like, I love Billy Raines, and he was talking on his channel the other day about, you know, like beta males and alpha males and all that. And it's like, in order to be a truck driver and make decisions, you have to be an alpha. Male, female, whatever, you gotta be an alpha. Because if you can't make split-second decisions, you're going to kill somebody. And if you second-guess the decisions that you make, guess what? You're going to have an accident later, and you're going to kill somebody. California politics are hurting too many industries, not just trucking. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Wait, I take too long for what? Tell Andrew to watch Athleen about the rotor cuffs. Okay. Drivers are starting to block the port in Long Beach, and I heard that Friday they blocked the 710. Yeah, I saw a news clip on the CBS News that was showing they didn't actually block it from what I saw, but they certainly were slowing down traffic in the one lane. Yeah, Hans says that he loves studying serial killers. It can be fun. You know, that was actually a tagline from the Zodiac Killer, the real Zodiac Killer. Killing is fun. That's what he said. I'm really into documentaries too, and I know it's weird. It's weird. I terrified my PSD instructor because we were driving through all these different places and I was taking pictures of the signs, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why the hell do you want to sign at Texarkana?" And I was like, "You don't know about the Phantom Killer? Back in 1946, this guy went and killed a whole bunch of people and he was never caught. You don't know about him? What's the matter with you? You know, what's the matter with you?" My Jersey accent. And, you know, then I'm driving across I-80 and I'm taking pictures, and we get to West Memphis and I'm taking pictures. And every time we went someplace, I, you know, related it to a murder or a serial killer or something like that. So by the end of the 3 weeks with me, I had this guy terrified. He was just like, "Whoa, who the hell is on my truck?" Now, as a trainer, I can totally understand that. Anne says, "I'm sorry about your mom. I had a shitty life and risque as well." Yeah, you know, I mean, here's the thing. I can't stand people that play the victim. And a friend of mine last night told me that I have less compassion for people. I'm very logical, but I have less compassion for people than some other people may have. But truth of the matter is that I do have compassion for people. I certainly do. But I just can't deal with the victimization stuff. We have all had trauma in our lives. We have all had something really bad happen to us. You know, there's a couple people on here on YouTube that know about what happened with my father, and I never discussed it online. But my father killed himself. I was 3 years old. He was only 30. And, you know, there were 5 of us kids and my mom, you know, and we were all there. You know, I was 3 years old, and I actually remember the police coming in and fingerprinting us and doing the gunshot residue test on our hands and stuff, which I think now as an adult, I'm like, why the hell were they taking that? Because they can tell if it's a kid's fingerprint on the gun. But he was law enforcement. My father was a law enforcement officer, and what was really funny was when I don't really have a lot of memories about him, but I do remember that there was a time where he would play cops and robbers with us. So he handcuffed me to a chair, and then he was sitting. I'm going to guess that he was like writing out checks for bills or something. But he told me that he was locking me up in jail and he had to write the police report. And he would fingerprint us with his kit. And it sounds so weird, but I actually remember saying to the cop, "You're doing it wrong. Let me do it." So even at 3 years old, I was already a spunky bitch that was going to tell people off, you know, and I was going to be, you know, that dominant type of personality that makes me a good trucker. Isaac says Twisted Big D starts lives usually a half hour before the scheduled time. That makes it 4:30. Oh, okay. You're cooking dinner and watching his videos. Yeah, I'm going to start bringing in some other channels too. I like the interaction with different channels. And, you know, we do have a rather small community in trucking, but it has different branches. So we might kind of intertwine some of these branches. We'll see. How many skeletons does Kiersey have in her storage facility? Well, over on Trucking Truth, they used to say I had a dungeon that was underneath the truck and that I would just kill my students and then shove them under there. It was because, like, every time I met somebody from Trucking Truth, they just disappeared for a while. You wouldn't see them for months. Good night, Anne. Redneck says, damn, Kiersey, that's sad. I went through that same thing about at 9 months old. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, but I look at it as it's something, everything that happened to us really does make us stronger, and we can live and learn from it, or we can, you know, wallow in our own misery. And my mother was a really tough woman. I mean, think about it. She was 38 years old and was left with 5 kids, you know, and had a dead husband. And us kids were 2, 3, 14, 16, and 17. You know, we had a very tiny house that only had 2 bedrooms, and there were 5 kids. And, you know, we were poor. You know, I mean, people assume that if you're from certain areas, or, you know, you have certain jobs, or you have degrees, then, you know, college and everything, that you have money. But we didn't have money. But I did wind up making a really good life. I did. Redneck Trucker, my stepdad who raised me was amazing. You know, those are the best people in life, the people that choose to be, you know, the parents that they didn't have to be, I guess is the word for it. You know, I have 2, well, when my father had passed, I had 2 sisters that were teenagers, and they were already dating. You know, they wound up marrying their high school sweethearts. And so I had 2 men in my life that they were very young men. You know, they were 19 or so. And, you know, that's a whole nother issue. Like, I was 12 years old, and my sister's husband wound up getting arrested and going to jail for triple murder. You know, that's another traumatizing thing that, you know, I lost my father, and then I have this father figure that's in my life for another, you know, 7 years or so, 8 years. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's taken away, and I'm supposed to abhor this guy because he's a murderer, you know. And here we are. That was 1986. Here we are all this time later. That man's still in prison. Yep. So we all have skeletons. All the skeletons have 3 wigs. Yes, Wolfman, they do. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you stopping in. But I think I'm going to hang out with you guys for a little bit, just because what the hell? I don't know. I haven't thought about that brother-in-law in prison for a long time. I think it's because all these guys keep talking about prison online, and I really don't understand that some people think that, you know, being to prison makes you tough or makes you a good person, or you're supposed to earn respect or whatever. Because, you know, that's just not how I see it. Like, especially like everybody that's in prison got caught. No offense, but you went to prison, you got caught. So you weren't that smart. Like, think about this. I just said that there were serial killers that never got caught. Those guys are smart. Those guys are smart. So, even though the adversity, you turned out all right. Look at your accomplishments. Yeah, and that's the thing, Barry. You know, I've done some really awesome things in my life despite what I've gone through. And I think people need to focus on the good that they have. I'm making an incredible amount of money right now. And I'm like, what the hell? How is this even possible? And I'm so happy. And it's just like, I have such a freedom that is beyond words. And one of the greatest things about being at my company and being able to train is that I can help somebody else. I mean, think about it. In 2011, my sister died. And then I felt like, well, damn, I might as well go buy anything in my life that I want. So I went and bought a brand new Mustang GT. And, I ordered it. I thought I was going to have that car for 20 years. I had so many options. It was almost $50,000. And I had it for a month, and a flood came by and picked it up and carried us down the street. And I was crying inside the car, and the cop says, you gotta get out. I said, hell no, I ain't getting out. I didn't even make a car payment yet. And they were like, you have to get out. And it's like pouring down rain, and the water was coming up higher. And I said, no, I got $250,000 worth in life insurance. It will pay off the car. Just tell my mother to get a crane and pick me and the car up and bury us in a hole. Because I'm not getting out of the car. They pulled a gun on me to get me out of the car. No lie. And then a couple weeks later, a flood hit and destroyed my entire house. And then a hurricane, an earthquake hit and shook all the trees in the ground. And nobody would come out to chop the trees down because their equipment would sink in the ground that was still saturated from the water. And then Hurricane Irene hit. So within 2 weeks, I had a flood, an earthquake, and a hurricane. That the hurricane just finally knocked the trees down on the house, and I lost everything. So 2011 was like the worst year of my life. And, even though I had insurances and everything, I was $72,000, I think it was. It was $70,000 in debt. So I came here and it's all paid off. Hey, TJ, how you doing today? You're saying good morning. What the hell time is it? I don't even know. It's night for me. Thanks, Isaacs. I appreciate it. You have a great night. Be safe out there. He's going to practice his pre-trip. See me in Salt Lake City. Well, I ain't going to Salt Lake City. He has to come to Springfield. But TJ, what you up to? Where are you at today? I'm so excited about this new microphone. It's 1 a.m. Central Time. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Barry. I appreciate that. Yo, Barry, I got some new Razorback shirts. I did. But Elite makes fun of the way I say hogs. Because he says hogs. And I'm like, hogs? No, they're hogs. And he's like, they're not hogs. What, I want to be anywhere else than Central? Okay. All right. Well, you know what, guys? I think I am going to get off. But I'm really glad that this, they're hogs. Yeah, but is it hogs or hogs? I am going to go get off. No, I shouldn't have said it that way. I am going to retire for the night. I'm going to retire for the night. But I am going to be taking next week off. So I'm going to try to figure out what to do with this channel. But I think you're going to be surprised at some of the really cool editing techniques I came up with. And I guess that's a question too. Do you watch videos for the editing, or you just watch them for what people say? Or a lot of us just say, a lot of the drama channels, they just want to call people bitches, and, we all know who's guilty. I mean, Billy's getting kind of vocal lately. I love Billy like a little brother, though. I really do. Trucking with T-Bone. Hi. How you doing? I really just, you watch for the personality? Okay. That's cool. I don't know. Sometimes I watch people just to, as a change of pace. Because I guess we can't watch. I don't watch as much now as I did when I was driving. Because when I was driving, I just like leave it on continuous play, and it would just bounce from, like, if I went to T-Bone's, let's say, it would just play a bunch of his, and some people are really, really entertaining and really funny, and I really like that. Like, I want Elite to start with his stories again. I told him that the other day because he comes up with these wild things, and like he'll sit here and tell me on the phone, and he'll just start going on and on. I'll be like, screw you, that's all a lie. And then he just laughs and he's like, yeah, okay, I just made that up. I'm like, yeah, but that story, you should have just wrote it down so you could go play it on your own channel. But I am going to get off, though. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Redneck, I didn't see the phone, but I love you to death. And I hope to see you guys out here trucking along. Good night, people.